Hey everybody and welcome back to the festival circuit. Today is episode 4 of season 2 and this is the episode where we're going to get loads of you guys on just to chat about festivals, chat about Reading and Leeds and just to have a nice chat about festivals. A few of you wanted to come on and we thought why not get loads of people together. So that's what we're going to do and I am joined of course by Reuben.
Hi guys, I'm really looking forward to this. Actually, we've got 7 guests that are going to come on, do roughly 10 minutes, and just kind of shoot the breeze. And we're just going to talk festivals and just live music. And we're just gonna, I'm loving the fact that we're able to get a massive community, and I want to be able to do this more often. And the fact that there's loads of people that we've actually had to say no to and have to get on next time that we do this. So thank you everyone that has that submitted and wanted to come on, and hopefully we'll be able to get you on next time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get the first person in now. He goes by the name of Stan. He's been a very big follower of the page over the last year or so, and I think it's only right to get him on first. So we're going to get him in, and hopefully it's a good start. Welcome to the festival circuit. We wanted to get you on, obviously, because of how much you've supported the page over the last however many months.
Yeah.
You're obviously a big voice in the Discord, and I just thought if you just introduce yourself and tell everyone about your Reading Leeds for sort of experience and how long you've been going, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm Stan, 20, been into festivals for absolutely ages, got into Reading and Leeds for a while now, quite a few years, done both festivals, but then initially started off going to Why Not festival with my family, then it's sort of expanded to Reading and Leeds and then other festivals since.
Cool. Love it.
So we'll have your initial thoughts on this year's lineup. What do you make of it? Favorite headliner?
Favorite headliner? Yeah, Arctic Monkeys, gotta be.
It's gotta be.
But
what are your thoughts on the rest of the lineup?
Yeah, rest of the lineup. I can't really fault it, to be honest. There's something for everyone. Definitely being very, very overhated, especially considering previous years and what we've got. Like, at least not Post Malone again. And yeah, I think it's a really good mix. It's got something for everyone.
Oh, I agree. And you said that you've been to Reading and Leeds, so talk to us a little bit about. You did say you've been to Reading and Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your big sort of differences? Obviously, the Thursday night's going to be a big part of it, but what's your experience of both?
I've always found Reading to be a lot more claustrophobic, if that makes sense. So Leeds is a lot more spread out. Even though I think it's like 10,000 or something difference, like 10,000 less at Leeds. I quite like that difference. Like Reading, what I do prefer is how close it is to the town centre, and you can, go like get any drinks or whatever you need or stuff. But then obviously the main thing for Leeds, which I prefer, is all the late night entertainment, which that just really makes it for me.
Yeah,
for sure. The the Piccadilly TPD TV. Talk to us about it. I'm sure you've been to a few of those gigs. Tell us what make me and Adam jealous.
Yeah,
it's just always a really good gaff, to be honest. It's, to be fair, last year was the biggest crowd I've ever seen them have for it. It was
really
crazy. Considering we're up against Bad Boy Chiller Crew as well on Relentless stage. They got a really good pull of people. It's just a really good atmosphere, songs for everyone, just a really good night.
I suppose it really gets you ready for the weekend as
well.
Yeah. We kind of, at Reading, you kind of doss about for 2 days and then like, oh yeah, shit, I've got music today. Whereas I guess on Thursday, you're ready for it already.
Yeah. Then we've also got stuff on the festival public stage. They've, I think it was, I want to say Vistas last year headlined.
Yeah.
Then they've just got a few smaller indie acts on that. Then obviously Piccadilly, Relentless, and then there's another one, but I don't know the name of that.
Yeah, because in 2020 they were meant to have DMAs do that.
Did they?
They were meant to,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
obviously it
crazy.
got cancelled.
Yeah.
And I think Vistas was underneath them then, but don't get a sniff of it already.
Wow. Yeah, Adam, I think we need to change. We need to go to Leeds.
You do. You do.
They're going to get someone massive, aren't they, for that Thursday one day, and then we're just going to be sat there like lemons.
Yeah, it's like 2019 they had easy
Well, that is-
life. That was
It's a trend at the minute. Like a lot of Why Not and Truck and have Thursday headliners. So like obviously with Leeds being able to do that because they're obviously in the middle of nowhere, and so noise isn't such a big thing to deal with. Whereas Reading, I'm guessing the only thing that I can think of is that it's down to noise pollution on the Wednesday and Thursday. But then you think Friday, Saturday, Sunday it's on. So I
There's
don't know.
Thousands of people there.
I don't get it.
It's one we're gonna have to ask. We'll have to when we get Melvin Ben on the podcast. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
And then hopefully he'll give us an exclusive. Be like, it's coming.
Fingers crossed. Then I might come back to Reading again.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you. You're staying away with it like the plague at the moment.
Yeah.
What year did you go to Reading?
I think years. Travis Scott.
Yep.
So 2018.
I think it was 20. Was it 2017 where it was Major Lazer and Eminem?
Eminem, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those 2 years.
Ah, cool. So yeah, I was there at
Sweet.
2018. What's your favourite? What's sort of been your favourite artist in years?
Standouts definitely Travis Scott's set. That was
Yeah, it was very good.
really good. 1975 in 2019. That was good.
Popular shout today.
Yeah, everyone's saying 1975. I don't blame
It
them.
was
It's been
good.
mine as well.
It
It was a cracking set.
More recently, Stormzy. That was. I was not expecting it to be anywhere near as good as it was. Disclosure as well. They were top.
They were
Trying to
really
think
good. And I
of-
foolishly left them for Post Malone, and didn't really enjoy Post Malone's set this year.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Wasn't as good as
It wasn't as good as
2019. I
2019.
loved 2018
Or
19.
18.
Yeah, I loved 2018. No.
That was the 2018 set was pretty good. I love that one.
And to talk to us, Stan. You're really involved with music in general. So what other festivals have you got booked for the summer? And yeah, to talk to us about what else you got booked.
I did a Primavera booked, but we decided to bottle that now. Mainly because Brockhampton are pulled out now. I think a lot of the other ones are going to. There's a lot of, Bring Me Horizon have pushed their tour to 2023 for Europe, and I think it's going to follow. So, yeah, that's bottled. But I've got Glastonbury coming up as my main
Are you
one.
going?
Yeah. Ticket for,
Cool.
I don't even know how long now.
Lucky.
Something crazy.
Really cool.
NAS down near Bristol.
I was saying I quite like the look of that. To be fair.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Parklife, obviously, literally outside my front door now. Really excited for that. Boomtown, Creamfield South. Then I want to do. Trying to think.
The list is endless.
I've got a few more, I think, but I can't actually. Oh.
So I don't blame you for Creamfield South. That looks
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that looks really good. Then I want to do truck or tram lines or one of them this year, but I don't know if I'll have the funds or not to do that yet.
Yeah, well, to be fair,
By the sounds of it, you've used up a lot.
Yeah, you have. And that's what the student loan's for, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, to be fair, and it's great to hear you show about all the different festivals you're going to. And to be honest with you, we just wanted to get you on, really, to just thank you in person and meet you, kind of meet you.
Virtually.
Thank you for the support you've given everything.
It's all right, anytime.
Well, make sure you keep the voice up
Love
in
it.
Discord, and obviously anybody watching, if they want to join the Discord, you make sure you join our chat because it's always going, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty
No matter
much
what
all the
festival.
time.
But yeah, well, thank you very much, Dan, for coming on.
No
We really
worries.
appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll speak in many, many times in the future.
Yeah, sweet. Cheers for having me on, guys.
Sweet.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Cheers,
See
Dan.
ya.
Thank you very much for coming on.
No worries.
Love
Anytime.
it.
Well, what we're going to do is just get yourself to introduce yourself, and then we'll start chatting waffle about festivals. How's that sound?
Lovely, mate. Yeah, it's fine.
So, who are you?
Right then. My name's Alfie. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Newcastle. I'm a uni student, currently studying sports journalism in Leeds, and been going to Leeds for about 2 years. Still going live music, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
cool. Reuben, do you want to kick off?
Love it. Great. Yeah, let's go. What are your? We just want to get your opinions to start with on this year's lineup. So talk to us. What are your opinions on Reading and Leeds 2022?
I mean, I was very happy when the lineup dropped. I remember getting up. I was very hungover, getting up to turn on Radio 1 to hear the announcement. I was pretty excited. I mean, we knew about Monkeys and Bring Me the Horizon, but when I heard Rage, it was sort of like back in my mind. Like I was thinking, would these really come back? But I was very happy that they reboot them. Dave, I'm happy with. I'm not massive on him, but I'm ready to be convinced. And then Halsey and Megan, like if I've got time, I'll give them a go. And then the rest of them I think's great as well. Like there's some really really good bands on there. Latham's,
Right.
Fontaine's DC, Little Sims, very happy with as well. Really excited to see her. No, some really 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 good bands.
Yeah, I think that's been the overwhelming thing. I think for 25, 30 bands, it's crazy how much variety and how many people like them. And I think the booking they've done is really, really good. And it's good to see that you're agreeing with that too.
Oh yeah, like I mean, just picking off it. Like I went through it after the dust had sort of settled, and I picked out about 10, 12 artists that I'd be happy going to see. Just from him.
Yeah, really cool. But in terms of, obviously, we've got loads more to be announced. In terms of that, who else do you want to see be added? Is there any names you've got that you really think will be there, or just who you want to be there?
I mean, I've got a little. I've made myself a little list.
Wow.
Just of few names that
Go on, run us through the
I'm
list.
kind of hoping to see, but some like realistic. I mean, like some I'm kind of thinking realistic. The Ratings, I think they're a bit of a lock, and they are excellent live as well. Twin Atlantic, maybe they've just released a new album, and I've seen them before. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Against the Current are a band that I really like as well. They're a bit pop in their early days, but they've sort of moved into pop punk. Their new EP
cool.
their latest EP is excellent, and they've played the festival a few times as well. They're really good. I think MGK has got a high chance of being on there.
Sweet.
He was meant to play last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a bit of a knob, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some excellent singles.
Got some
He's got
bangers,
some
yeah.
really good songs,
Yeah,
doesn't he? Some I'm kind of hoping for. I've never heard. I haven't heard him mentioned yet, but Baby Keem would be brilliant. I think. I mean, his latest album is excellent, and I think if he brought out Kendrick, that would be mental. That would be crazy. I mean, I get that is like
wishful
that's
thinking.
like pipe dream. That's like Gigs bringing out Drake shit right there.
Yeah,
like
it
that's
is.
that's sort of that stuff. Another one I had down, a very obscure one, but like, do you know how on the One Extra stage they normally have like a sort of obscure American rapper to headline the Sunday
Yeah.
or the Saturday? I've got T-Pain down.
Oh yeah.
T-Pain. I'm a big fan of T-Pain. I think he's one of the goats. Like, I think what he did for the scene was mental. I think he could really fit out a role quite well. And I've got Skepta as well, who
Yeah,
I'd
I think
love to
Skepta.
see.
Yeah,
I think he's a perfect like sub headliner.
Yeah,
I agree. No, there's some great shouts there. To be fair.
for sure. Those are all great shouts. Yeah, for sure. Have you got any other festivals? You got any other live music gigs booked for this summer that you're looking forward to?
I mean,
to
I've got a good few gigs lined up. Like some of the names I mentioned there. Like I've got Ratings for this month, Against the Current in April. I've got Block Party in June as well. And then even after Parklife's lineup dropped, I'm very tempted to get a day ticket to see Tyler the Creator,
Yeah.
because I'd love to see him.
for sure. I think a lot of people are gonna. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna want to get day tickets for that.
I think
50 as well.
I think the festival scene is actually really, really good this year. They've got some interesting names, and you know, like, even festivals that I wouldn't even consider going to, like Creamfields, I wouldn't have been that bothered about it. But then they drop a Sublime lineup that they have, and I'm like, that looks alright. To be fair.
I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Why not?
But, yeah, I think in terms of Reading, I think with the names that you listed out about who could be there, I think you actually got some really good shouts. Even with like Baby Keem, and I know you're dreaming for the Kendrick coming out, but I think they're the sort of names that Reading are very likely to pull out, because you know what they're like. They'll pull out just someone absolutely random, I guess, like they did with Megan Thee Stallion and Halsey as well.
Well, I mean, I think he could definitely fill the like that sort of like midday sort of like slot, you know, like the Billie Eilish, Post Malone, Kid Laroi sort of fit. Like, I think he fits in there really well. And I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but I don't know if what's his name, organizer fella, name escapes us now, but I think he loves Kendrick.
Melvin Ben.
Melvin Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the logo. Yeah, no, I think he loves Kendrick. I mean, Kendrick's headlined before as well, so I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Kendrick back soon. We'll see. Have you got any other stories you want to share from this year's Leeds for you, or previous years?
Or
any of the best acts you've seen? Worst acts?
I mean, worst that I mean, don't know if Adam's going to be very happy me saying this, but Royal Blood, insanely boring.
You'll upset Reuben more than me.
Insanely boring. Insane.
Boring.
I don't know what it was. I just did not like him. I remember the screens froze at Leeds as well during their set, and it was just like. I do have a pretty funny story though.
That's not their fault. That's Leeds. That's Leeds'
I do have
fault.
a pretty funny story though from a Wednesday. Obviously I go to Leeds.
Okay.
You know, I'm in the domain of TBD TV. I've got the SWHBB on right now. And me and my mates, we went to the Orange Caravan where they were doing a meet-up and that sort of session. And if you've seen the vlog, you would have seen that it went absolutely crazy. There was loads of people, security having to move them all down to Piccadilly. And me and my mates, we were moving through, and the crowd was just mental. And about 2 minutes away, moving through, a rogue can of dark fruits came, like, just dashed at us like a cricket ball, hit us square in the head, and
oh my god!
Yeah, square in the head, and it's just like I had this top on at the same time. And to be fair, like loads of people came over, I was like, "Oh my god, are you all right?" And I was perfectly fine. I didn't get knocked out or like got concussed or anything. I just got sprayed with dark fruits essentially, and we just went back to camp. At the end. But that was so I just got like essentially just airstriked by a dark fruits can, which is classically full can like this not opened, and it just like sort of exploded like when you just like throw a can on the floor. It just sort of like
oh my god!
It just like square in the dome.
Jesus. What this is something I want to know from a Leeds perspective. What are the TPD TV raves at Piccadilly? What
are they really?
I'm guessing you went to. It's on Thursday. What are they like?
Excellent. Like I think me and my mates went down for like 9:30, and they started at like 11:30. And most of my mates left. They didn't stay, but obviously I had to stay. It was like me and one of my mates who just stayed for the whole thing. And just when they opened it, it was insane. It was brilliant. Just like they all get on the mics and start speaking. You got the always come down the front as well. Like I managed to move myself towards the barrier, towards the front, and you know, they were all coming across. I managed to get photos of all of them. And I remember there was one point they closed their set out for the past 2-3 years with Are You Mine?
No.
And Cleesby was coming across for the second chorus. And I had my phone out. I'd stopped recording at this point, but he just grabbed my hand and just went, "Are you mine?" It was fucking brilliant, man. No, they're just class.
Yeah, I do think coming from Reading, it's really interesting to hear about like these Leeds things, and I think that's one of the main things. Like the Thursday night and stuff is probably the main thing that differentiates them both.
Super fun fact as well. You can actually see me in the Biffy Clyro part of their vlog. I'm right next to them.
Really?
You can see me. I'm in a blue and white. Sort of like overshirt. Yeah. Sort of like button up and keep your.
We're gonna go look back.
Go back. It's mainly in the B-sides bit. Yeah. You can get clearer views of it, but I'm certainly there.
Yeah.
Trust me.
That's lovely. Well,
There we go.
Yeah, you
So
are
famous.
Well, Alfie, I really appreciate you coming on, and I hope you enjoyed your stories. And to be fair, you're wicked. You bring good energy, so I really appreciate you
Thank you
coming
very
on.
much, man. I appreciate it. Cheers for letting us get on. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Thank you, and I was sure I'll
Cheers,
speak
Alfie.
to you very soon.
Thank you, mate.
Lovely. Adios.
See you later, mate.
See you.
First of all, I just want to say thank you very much, because you're definitely one of the names that comes up the most with supporting the page and supporting and giving us interaction. So I just want to say a big thank you for that, and that's one of the reasons we got you on today.
Yeah, no worries. It's been refreshing to have a page that's like dedicated to the festival. So yeah, I'm always happy to interact.
Love it.
Brilliant. Do you want to go ahead with it, Reuben?
Yeah, so we're just going to ask you to start off with introduce yourself, what festival it is that you
Yep.
go to, and just yeah, let's start.
Yeah, Sam. So hi, I'm Ben. I've been going to LEEDS Festival since 2003. I only live like 5 miles down the road, so it's like my local festival. So been pretty blessed to have it to my local festival for so long. So yeah, part of the northern crowd. Around a lot.
Well, I mean, you must have seen. Well, we normally ask about this year's lineup, but I really want to dive into you being since 2003. So I'm just going to dive in and talk about, just go in detail into the changes you've seen. Obviously, when you first went, the lineups would have been completely different, and talk about the different acts you've seen, all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, the first year I went, it was Linkin Park headlined. And at the time, they were like one of my favourite bands. It took out a lot of persuasion to my dad to take me as a 9-year-old. So it was the first year it moved to Bradman Park, where it is now, because it all kicked off at Temple Newsam, where it's where Slam Dunk's hosted now, actually, at Temple Newsam, and there was like loads of trouble. I think like cars were getting set on fire and all that kind of stuff, and so it took a bit of gentle persuasion, but yeah, he took me. And yeah, it was mint. And we just like I still go with my dad now. We've been going because it's down the road, so it'd be rude not to. And for a while, we didn't have an arena in Leeds either, so the chance to see like Linkin Park and Green Day and bands like that in Leeds was just unheard of. So yeah, the festival's just mint. Like but it is funny watching it grow and develop. Like the lineups have changed so much, but they're just moving with the times, aren't they? They can't keep booking the same headliners, otherwise it just gets boring. So I think that's why this year is so good, because it's like 5 bands that I've not seen headline the festival before, which is a rarity. So yeah, it's cool. I don't mind the change. I know a lot of people complain about it, but I don't mind the change. I think it's good. They've got to move with the times, and they are doing so. Yeah. Positive.
It's good to see that someone who's been going for so long is so happy about the change, because you see a lot of people saying, back in my day, it was purely rock and it isn't anymore. And I'm glad that to have someone on that hasn't got that view. So I just want to go back. So 2003, Linkin Park, probably one of my favourite bands. I'm jealous that you managed to get to see them. You're across the whole time that you've been to Leeds. What's your favourite year? Whether it holds a special memory or whether it's a best act of headliners. What's your favourite year?
I've got 2. Am I allowed to pick 2?
Yeah,
Of course you can.
So 2013, because it was just a ridiculous lineup. It was like Biffy Clyro, Green Day, Eminem. I think like System of a Down played. Like Bring Me the Horizon were really low down the lineup, and it was just insane. But the weather was horrendous.
Of course it was.
Biffy Clyro on the Friday night, and they were they were insane. They were so good. But then we got back to the car. We were just like drenched. Literally, I've never been so wet in my life. And we thought it was gonna get rained on. I know, mate. Up north, it's always wet. Yeah, it was shocking, but like the actual lineup was mint. And then almost on like the flip side, 2018, when that got announced, I was like, this is the worst lineup ever, because there was all this hype about like Monkeys playing it again, and I think Foo Fighters were rumoured, and then it ended up being like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Kings of Leon, and then Kendrick, who was like the saving grace. But that year just ended up being amazing because we took in like a lot of bands that we've not seen before, and like DMAs, for example, who are now like one of my favourite bands. I discovered them. There were, I think, like 3 secret sets: Bring Me, Wolf Alice, and Don Broco, who were all obviously surprises. And then it just ended up being a really good year. And Kendrick closed Leeds, and it was just insane. Like such a good live entity. So yeah, I'd say those two were the best two.
So it's good to hear that you've definitely like welcomed the changes. And we were saying earlier about back in the day, so to speak, because like rock was so popular, and Reuben was saying that was the main thing. So that they've kind of just always been a current festival. It's just the fact that pre 2010, 2012, it was just rock heavy. So it's good to see that you've kind of embraced the change.
Yeah, they end up like Download otherwise, and like don't get me wrong, I like Download. Like it's a decent festival. The people who go are absolutely amazing, but I mean, how many times have Kiss headlined? You know, like Def Leppard's. It's like it's just I'm glad that Leeds Fest are moving with the times, and you know, even just this year, like booking 2 female headliners, I think is refreshing. Like, you know, I personally would have picked 2 better ones, but but it's refreshing, you know. And again, like getting Dave to headline, you know, his last 2 albums have been like masterpieces. So he's going to be awesome. Sure. So you know, my dad's the same. You know, he's kind of embraced the change, and like obviously, like as I've grown up, the crowd's got younger, but it hasn't. Like it stayed the same. But they're going with what's popular. Like you look at the Brit Awards, you know, half the bands who are playing have been nominated. That's the crowd. That's what they're going for.
Yeah,
they've still got Enter Shikari and all the old boys sticking by. So
the classics. So go in a little bit more. So your thoughts on this festival, and also who you'd add and change.
I think it's great. I think, you know, Rage Against the Machine straight away. You know, they're not doing anything else in the UK. They've not played Leeds Fest for like 14 years or something. They're a show in the UK since that London one. So that booking alone, is just like is mental. Finally getting to see Bring Me headline it, it's going to be a special moment. Like I feel like I've been waiting so long for him to headline. So that'll be special. Obviously, Arctic Monkeys are just like special bands. I saw them at Transmit a couple of years ago, and it was just it was just mad, like mad bands to get booked, because they're one of the biggest bands in the country. So you know, I mean, you see how many people have been pestering them every year. They're like, book Arctic Monkeys this. This year seems to be Playboy Carti. It seems to be the one that everyone wants.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, to be honest with you, I hadn't actually heard of him until I saw everyone tweeting, and I thought, oh, like, who's this guy? I'll give
another one of these American rappers.
He's alright, to be fair. I don't really quite get why everyone's so obsessed with having him playing, but yeah, he's pretty decent. But yeah, and then even just further down the bill, like Lavums, it'll be great to see them at Leeds. And you know, that Sunday in Leeds, you know, it's 2 Yorkshire headliners, so
yeah. So you're happy.
Yeah, representing the north.
Yeah,
which is always good.
2 local bands.
Be a bit of a rush. What's that again? Sorry, mate.
Was it just two local bands for Leeds?
Yeah, last time Monkeys played it, he wore like a white rose, and it felt like a real moment. Even though they're Sheffield, but
yeah.
Still.
You're still
like
claiming.
In Leeds, we don't really have many like local bands that have come from Leeds, apart from Kaiser Chiefs. So we just kind of.
You got to cling on to what you get.
To me, Manchester's local. I'm like Oasis are local to me.
Yeah.
Just got to cling on to those local bands. So no, it'll be good. I think obviously there's a lot more to be announced as well. You know, I'm hoping Don Broco get added. I think they were really good in the secret set, and their album's brilliant as well. I had a chat with my dad about this the other day. I had loads of bands, but it slipped my mind now. Like DMAs will be good.
Yeah, I think they'll go.
I think there's one. I don't really heard of Bicep. I'd love them to get added in that like disclosure slot, but I don't think there's the space now. Because I think that was good last year.
Well, to be fair, it wouldn't surprise me if they do stick a half decent sort of DJ set as a sub headliner.
Or maybe as a closer after Megan the Stallion, because obviously she's doing part life now, doesn't she? So she's not like as much of an exclusive as she might have been before. So obviously Chase and Status are back on the scene as well, and they've done it before, like a live show, and yeah, they were really good. So I could see them doing something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think for me, I've got my money's worth ready this year. So it's one of those things where I'm not really bothered who else gets added now. It's like, just bring it on.
You're happy.
Bring on the summer.
And so,
yeah, I think like Leeds Fest. So go on, mate.
Guys, so I was just gonna say, so with all the people at Leeds, I'm trying to ask them all. So we had Alfie on a minute ago, and we're asking with the TPD TV Piccadilly set. You need to talk to us because me and Adam are both Reading. Our nightlife on the Wednesday and Thursday is non-existent. So come on, you need to make us jealous of what you've got at Leeds.
It's like it's never ending really with Leeds. You kind of get to like the headliner and you go straight out, and there's like 3 different things. So Piccadilly is meant like I know the guy who runs it. He's called Danny Oliver, and yeah, he just smashes it. Like, and getting the TPD guys on as well. You know, they're like almost like Leeds Festival legends, and yeah, I think it's just clever. You know, it's clever on a Thursday night. You know, the Wednesday's always a bit quiet, but yeah, on a Thursday you get everyone down to Piccadilly. There's Relentless as well, and then there's this. It begins with an A. It's just like drum and bass and stuff like that. So yeah, it is mint. Like I don't know how you guys like start anything ready.
Bit of a silent disco.
Yeah, like. It must be so. I know it's in like the city centre in it, Reading. So I think it's to do with like the noise curfew and stuff like that. But
it must be, yeah.
Yeah, get yourself to Leeds.
Yeah.
Where? Trust me, we're gonna try.
But we're working on it. Yeah, we're gonna try. But no, I appreciate you, Ben, for coming on, and again, just to go on about it again, I really appreciate you supporting the page, and you have done for ages now. So keep it up, and yeah, we'll have to get chatting again soon.
Yeah, nice one, lads. I appreciate you having me on.
No worries at all. Cheers,
right.
mate.
Nice
Cheers.
one. Cheers.
See you later.
Cheers, Ben.
Take care.
Bye.
So what we're going to do is get you on, chat about festivals, but first of all, introduce yourself, talk about your love for the festival that we all love, and start from there.
No worries. So my name's George Bunn. I'm a journalist and occasional music writer and presenter. I run my own music review Instagram page at Bunn Does Records. Sorry to get that early plug in. I've been going to Reading and Leeds since 2016. 2016 was my first one. But before then, I went to the now long gone V Festival because I'm from Staffordshire. And when you were from Staffordshire, part of the rite of passage when you were in sixth form was to go to V Festival because it was just down the road from us. And I'm sure we'll discuss V Fest memories as well as the Reading and Leeds ones too.
Yeah. Love it. Right, so we're going to get your thoughts just quickly on this year's lineup. So talk to us about Reading and Leeds 2022. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm very impressed with the lineup that has been released so far this year. Personally, I think it's much better than last year, but that's from a purely personal subjective base because I think this year definitely has something for everyone. I think that's one of the main things that is good about this year's lineup. So you've got, for the classic rock fans, you've obviously got Rage Against the Machine. For your more pop fans, you've got Megan Thee Stallion. And then for your alt pop fans, you've got Halsey. And then for your rap fans, you've got Dave. And then for the heavier rock fans, you've got Bring Me. And then obviously the indie legends that are the Arctic Monkeys. So there really is something for everyone out there. And that's just the 6 headliners. The undercard, I think they've done very well on too.
Yeah, me too. I think it's good to see today how much positivity there is, because it's good enough to see on Twitter people mumbling and grumbling, but there's been a lot of positivity today, and it's great to see everyone like it. And in terms of obviously we're going to see hundreds more acts be announced. So in terms of that sort of thing, name just a handful of the acts that you would like to see added.
Well, I think there's some. Listen to your episode with Rob Kellis from TPD, and there was a band that I think the first name which came to my head when I was thinking who could be added is Don Broco.
Yeah.
Don Broco, they just come off the back of their Amazing Things album, did the Secret Set last year, and yeah, I think they're a shoo-in for this year's festival. Some other names I think could be mentioned. I don't know if they've been mentioned on the podcast before, and that's an American experimental band called 100 Gex.
Oh yeah, they got removed, didn't they,
100
last year?
Yeah, they were supposed to be playing, I think it was the Festival Republic stage in 2020. But they're in Europe that week, but they've got the weekend free, so I think that they're very likely to be announced. Some other names that I had on my list as well. I think Rex Orange County.
Yeah,
That's a great shout.
Rex Orange County, I think, could fit in on the Dave and Megan Thee Stallion day because he's very popular with rap fans and hip hop fans.
that's a great shout actually, especially with the new single coming out as well.
Yeah, another one that is doing a lot of festivals and I think is a good shout to headline the dance stage is Jamie XX.
Yeah.
Jamie XX, I think, would go down very well in that tent. Some other names as well. D Block Europe, another big name in the world of British hip hop.
I agree with that. Yeah.
For sure.
And if we want to sort of look more on the indie and rock side of things, I think DMAs could be a shout.
For sure.
Yeah, probably fit into that sub-headliner slot now.
Yeah, and if Rage are there, I think one of the main names, because they've had a bit of a resurgence recently, one of the names that a lot of people have been tipping for a possible appearance are Limp Bizkit.
Oh, that'd be great.
And Limp Bizkit on the main stage on Rage Against the Machine's Day will be absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
No,
I 100%
I
agree.
think there's some absolutely great shouts there. Yeah, I think some of the more outside shouts actually make a lot of sense. So, yeah, it's nice to hear some names because obviously you said Don Broco first, but then you're getting into some names that are actually some different shouts, and that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways. There's still loads of slots to be filled on all 3 days. Some pretty big slots to be filled too. I think that the next to Bastille, I think there's another space for a sub slot there, and third down on Megan Thee Stallion Day. I'm 99% certain that Glass Animals will be subbing Megan Thee Stallion. So I think there's probably another another spot underneath Glass Animals there.
Yeah, next to Shikari as well. There's another one too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, there's another shout. I think get another sort of heavier band in that slot as well would go down very well.
Yeah. So tell us, you've been going since 2016. What's your favourite year? Your favourite acts that you've seen? Maybe the worst act you've seen. Tell us about the history with you and Reading.
Okay, so I'm one of very few people that have done full weekends at both Reading and Leeds Festival.
Wow.
So I've my first time was in 2016. So that year it was the Chili Peppers, Biffy Clyro, and Foals with I think Disclosure, and it was Fall Out Boy I think were headlining that year as well.
That's a mad year actually.
And yeah, that was a very interesting year because that was. I'm sure we'll get onto V Festival in a bit, but that was our first year doing Leeds, and we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. And I think that's the first time that I properly saw some mad festival antics going on. I don't know how PG this podcast is.
Say what you want.
Go for it.
Are you sure? So in 2016, on the Sunday morning, it's about people who've been to Leeds will know this description. So as you're going into the forest, looking at the Relentless stage. Bear in mind, this was our first year, and we were only 18 at the time. If you go if you imagine going to the right of the Relentless stage and carrying straight on through Red Camp, through the valley, we were right in the corner, and it was on the Sunday morning that I heard some commotion going on just behind me, and we looked around, and it was this group of lads, and they bought this really, one of the cheap crap plastic tents, like the single layer ones.
Yeah.
And we'd heard something, and we looked in, and there was just a big pile of human shit in this tent.
How big are we talking?
Probably at least 7-8 inches in width, because it
Love
clearly
it.
been the toilet tent for the whole of the festival,
Yeah.
because we were quite the distance away from the lung drops. So on the Sunday morning, this group that had nothing to do with our tent, we were all kind of peering into it, and then one of them grabbed it and just started throwing it at the boundary wall. This whole tent filled with human shit.
Oh my god.
And they just kept on chanting, shit tent, shit tent, shit tent.
Bloody hell, that's...
So, yeah, that was certainly a lasting memory that I don't think will ever fade from my mind. But in terms of the music that year, going back to something that's somewhat grounded, that year there was a lot of really great acts. The ones that I just want to shout out that I listed down here were... I don't know if you ever remember this band, because they kind of were big for a very short period of time, then completely fizzled out. A band called Rat Boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rat Boy.
Yeah, it was kind of like if the Beastie Boys were from Chelmsford. And they did a set in the old Radio 1 NME tent, and that was absolutely insane. They were absolutely brilliant. And then one of my all-time favourite live bands are Foals.
Yeah, I agree.
And Foals headlined the Saturday night, I think it was. And it was absolutely pissing it down with rain, but that was almost like a semi-religious experience for me and everyone I was there with. And one of the other interesting things that year was my first proper experience of a festival mosh pit.
Oh.
I don't know how much you two experience and properly get into it, but it was during a Cortina's gig. It was during Cortina's set,
They
out
love
of all
mosh.
things. Yeah, and literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say I took one step into the mosh pit, and some 6'5" dickhead from Manchester, who proper loutish stereotype almost, just straight up elbowed me in the face, and I just completely took me by surprise.
A warm welcome to the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that as well, Chili Peppers were amazing that year, although I could tell that the crowd was very, very busy for that. That was the most busy I'd ever seen the main stage until Billie Eilish in 2019.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was 2016. It was really sort of my first experience with it.
Love it.
Another favourite from that year was Frank Turner and the Sleeping Souls.
Oh yeah.
But Frank Turner always puts on an amazing live show.
Yeah.
He's always a good, solid bet for any festival that he ever plays that. If you want to have a good time, you go and see Frank Turner.
Yeah, love it.
Absolutely.
And,
So you go on.
you were talking about V Festival. Tell us the year you've been to, or years you've been to V Festival, and tell us what that's like.
Yeah, so V Festival was a very, very different vibe from Reading and Leeds. It was a lot more chilled, but it's also a lot more commercial. It was very much, you know what you're in for. It was loads of adverts all over the place. I know you got that at Reading and Leeds, but it just felt very safe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the first year that I went was in 2014, and I could only get a day ticket because I had to work the other day. So 2014 was my first day at a festival, and I still credit the first live act that I ever saw as being a band called Neon Jungle.
All right.
One of the singers in Neon Jungle went on I'm a Celebrity.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Jessica Plummer, I think her name was.
I know.
And
I know. Yeah, I
yeah,
know the one.
she was in EastEnders,
Yeah.
EastEnders as well. And yeah, he had a pretty standard good time. But the reason I went that year was because the headliners were the Killers, and
Yeah.
I think Hot Fuss might have been one of the very first albums I ever bought on CD. And I've seen the Killers a few times since then. I went to Glastonbury in 2017 and 2019, and saw the Killers do their Secret set in 2017, and then come back to headline in 2019.
Yeah.
And if you had to ask me right now who I think the perfect festival headline band are, it's the Killers. There's no doubt in my mind that it's the Killers.
That's a big shout.
Because I think the Killers, no matter what kind of music you're into, you'll always go and you'll always have a great time at the Killers.
Yeah, true.
I mean, everyone loves Mr.
They've
Brightside.
got so
don't
many.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mr. Brightside, obviously the soundtrack to every shit indie night you ever went to.
But also apparently every perfect festival.
Yeah, shit club nights, amazing at festivals.
Love it.
I don't make the rules.
Love it. Right, George, we've really, really appreciated having you on. By the sounds of it, you could host this a podcast yourself. We're definitely going to have to get you back on for another episode because you have been brilliant.
I think you've got a lot more stories to tell, and it's a shame we've only got people on for 10 to 15 minutes, but you've been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Oh, no worries. Thanks so much for having me on.
Cheers, George.
Lovely. And make sure you're keeping up with the page, so when we do this again, then we'll definitely get you back on, alright?
No worries. Can I plug my Insta one last time?
Yeah,
Do
go
it.
for it.
Yeah, make sure you follow @BunDoesRecords on Instagram to hear some of my thoughts about gigs that I've been to, as well as record reviews of some of the latest releases. Make sure you go follow.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description down below.
Thanks so much, guys, for having me.
Cheers. See you later, George.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So yeah, first of all, we're just gonna obviously get into some Reading and Leeds talk and festival chat. But first of all, introduce yourself, talk to yourself about sort of, all things Reading, where you go, or Leeds, or just introduce yourself and your festival experience, really.
So, my name's Ewan. I go to Leeds usually, just because it's closest to me. It's like 30 minutes away. I started in 2019, so I'm pretty early on. But I know that I'm gonna go for a few. Like, I'll be there for a few years now.
Yeah.
You're hooked.
I think. Yeah, I'm hooked. Literally, do you know what it is? I watch a lot of like TPD and stuff, and I was like so into the idea of just getting a big group and going every year.
You're right about FOMO.
Not really. I'm just like, I sort of, when the festival ends and then like a week later they put out tickets. I'll go straight for it. I'm not too fussed.
Yeah. That's a great mentality to
Very
have.
much in the mindset of like, yeah, it's like I don't really mind who's playing. As well, the lineup changes so much that it's like you can't really judge it on the first announcement. Especially like this announcement, I've been saying the whole time, like, I don't even know what my opinion on this announcement is yet, because we don't know how it's going to look when it comes to that point.
That ruins the first question we have for you: is what is your opinion on this year's lineup so far?
Well, like, there's going to be stuff added to it. I'm not too quick to jump on it's the best lineup ever. I'm not too quick to dismiss it. So far, though, like, they've done a good job, haven't they? I've been saying, like, Monkeys, Bring Me in Rage on their own could be like a 3 headline deal. So the fact that you get Dave, Halsey, and Megan in there, like, they've done bits, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially getting like Run the Jewels, I would say could headline it.
Yeah.
I think I'm glad to see a positivity. I mean, I keep going on about it because every single person is positive. I'm waiting for I hate it, but I don't think that's going to happen because it really does have something for everyone, and I assume that's something you love about the festival.
I think I'm skeptical going in. I'm looking, so for Leeds, it's the Saturday, it's the Dave Day and the Megan Day. I'm skeptical about that day. I hope there are a few more, like, that's the one where I really want to see names added to before I can make a decision. But, like, the Sunday's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like the Friday, it's not like Halsey Monkeys, Halsey Rage even run the jewels. You just can't beat it. Like
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's just one of them where it's like making like who am I even gonna see? It's like having to plan out the day so much. I remember that's was what the Saturday was like in 2021, just like planning the day, like who do I see because there's so many people, and then you end up missing people anyway, and just being like you can't do anything about
You
that.
can't
Yeah.
you
Well,
can't
the
shoehorn
the
everyone
planning
in.
this year is that, and the part of the plan this year is like having the two main stages as well. I know they say there's no clashes, but you've got to run between one and the other. What was your view on that when that came in and then returned?
Ooh, I don't know. So when it came in, I remember this year, the Friday was a bit weird at Leeds because we had a big delay on the Friday. I think someone came on late and there was like a 25-minute delay, which meant that like Blossoms ran 25 minutes into Wolf Alice's set,
Oh
and
my
they were both
God.
to see. So we stayed at Blossoms, but like it'll be good to see Wolf Alice this year.
Yeah.
I think those things are bound to happen on the Friday, and hopefully they get ironed out throughout the weekend. Obviously, it's the first day they ever done it, so. But after that, it was pretty easy to get between the two. It's a bit of a pain, like having to run between the two and try and get a good spot. I remember when we left Biffy, trying to get a good spot for Liam was just impossible. He was so far back. Like, I am a bit worried about how that's going to be between Bring Me and Arctic Monkeys, but I think that's the sort of thing where you, at the end of the day, it's Arctic Monkeys. It's going to be good wherever you are.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've always been the one to say about that day with Arctic Monkeys to Bring Me. I think they've purely done that because of crowd management, because of how big of a crowd that Arctic Monkeys would get, and if they didn't have someone to somewhat compete with that, they would have. No one would have gone to the other act. Imagine if it was Megan Thee Stallion. No one would have gone to her.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the weird thing. It's like some of the names were really shocking. I think because there were so many predictions, and there was like a pool of maybe 10 names that were just flying about everywhere, like Royal Blood, Queens of the Stone Age, Dua Lipa were in there, maybe Fold. There were so many names that were flying around. So when they pulled out Halsey and Megan Thee Stallion, I was so like,
It was
shocked.
So it was such a left field.
But it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was a left field booking. No one. We had one person that said to us that they wanted Halsey and Megan Thee Stallion. Everyone else, that I didn't see it anywhere on the internet. Yeah. It was crazy when we saw, obviously, because the night before that we saw it was going to be Arctic Monkeys and Bring Me, and we're like, okay, we kind of expect that. But then to see Megan Thee Stallion and Halsey, it was a big surprise. Like, we did an Insta Live, and Adam told me what the lineup was, and I got my live reaction, and that
Didn't say anything.
I was speechless.
I remember being in bed the morning on Radio 1 on my speaker and just hearing it, and obviously he goes like Arctic Monkeys, and I'm like, oh, sick, sound like that's a confirmation that. And then he says like Halsey, and I'm just like, I remember like audibly just being like, what? Like, and to be fair, I'm pleased with Halsey. Like, I'll take Halsey.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I'll take it, but like, it was just one of them where I was like, it's so out there. I was just very surprised.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of Reading Festival, though, that you see so many lineups. Like me and Reuben in the last episode went through loads, and the amount of names that you could like repeat because they're on every booking, even the high up ones. And Reading are just so good at just bringing out completely
it's like
different.
how many times are you guys seen Kasabian this year?
Yeah.
Or Blossom?
Exactly.
I think I've seen them 4 times.
Yeah.
Like not even on purpose. Like, I'm seeing them like supporting people that I want to see. All sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you say 2019, 2021. What?
Yeah.
Go through some of the highlights of your sort of 2 weekends.
So, I think the Wombats in 2019, they were on the Saturday night. Yeah, they were on the Saturday night. It was like, you know that period of the day when the sun's like proper burning, and like the sky's all yellow and everyone's like, just everyone was loving it. It's sick. We were stood so far back. We were stood like, you know, the big box in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were stood on one side of that, and even everyone around us was bouncing, man. The Wombats, like, they're a band that I will forever just appreciate. Like,
Just have time for them.
They'll never be my favourite band ever, but they're like, I'll never miss them if they're playing. So probably that. The 1975 as well that night were remarkable. Like, I got into the 1975 that summer, and I remember getting the ticket just to see them.
Really?
And then going, so I was like, I think I watched them at BBC Big Weekend on TV, and I was like, this is unreal.
You have to go.
I need to see them.
Yeah.
Got the ticket, and then like Royal Blood and everything was a bonus. Obviously, got to mention like seeing Juice WRLD on that day as well.
Yeah.
Like probably the last time he played in this country.
We
he didn't even turn up at Reading.
Yeah, we didn't get him at Reading.
Did he not?
We were. I was at the front, literally right at the front, ready to see him because that year I'd been to Wireless as well. So luckily I'd already seen him. And then right at the front for Juice WRLD, getting ready, and then like 10 minutes, 15 minutes after he was meant to be on, there was a thing on the big screen saying Juice WRLD will not. Yeah, just text came up saying Juice WRLD will not be appearing, and there was absolute pandemonium in the crowd. Everyone was going mental.
What do you reckon that is then?
It was his flight. I think his flight got delayed coming into England, and obviously because he was Friday, so he was on the same as 1975 and Wombats and Raw Blood. So he was Friday for us. He wasn't in England, but he arrived on Saturday for Leeds. So you guys were lucky that you got to see him, but
yeah, no, he was pretty good as well because I'm not by any means the biggest Juice WRLD fan. I sort of got dragged along, but I'm glad I've seen it. Like in retrospect, like imagine if I'd have gone, no, I'm not seeing him.
I
don't care.
That would have been a great.
Obviously, with what happened.
Yeah. And sort of just finally on this year's lineup, who you said that you hate judging it because of how little names there are. Who do you want in those next announcements?
Who do I want? I'd like to see Shame on Before Fontaines. I think that would be a really good booking. I'm certain Don Broco are going to be there. You know what? I said this all last year and they never got put on the line. I was kicking myself.
But they were there.
I was like, yes, come on. But so I'd love to see Shame and Broco. Do you know? I'm not a big fan of them, but I think it would be a reasonable booking to say maybe the Darkness. On the Rage Day. Just because of who else is playing it, I think it could be an interesting shout.
Yeah, Rob Kelly said that.
Fits the mould.
Yeah, I think I would love Wet Leg to be there, but I'm pretty sure they're in
America, aren't they, Reuben?
Yeah, they're in America that weekend. I mean, look, we can always pray because Idols are that same festival, so we can get them. We need to get a private jet for them.
The last one I'd say.
Go on, carry on.
I'd say Blossoms as well.
Yeah.
It's got to be Blossoms as well. They're my last one. Like I will never not like want Blossoms. I'll always have time for like great band.
Yeah, well they could be, and obviously last year they even did it with playing at Victorious as well on the same weekend. So if they're even freer this year,
I think I've seen Blossoms. I just bought Neighbourhood Weekender tickets, so I'm seeing Blossoms this year.
Cool.
Obviously. They've just announced a new album as well, so
that's in April, isn't it?
There's plenty of reason for them to be there. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Ewan. It's been a pleasure, again, we've said to all our guests, but we'll have to get you on again because you seem to have a lot to tell and a lot of opinions, and that's great.
Let's do it. Yeah,
love it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, and we shall speak to you soon.
Cheers,
Ewan.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
I'm alright. How are you boys?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, well, good. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. One of the reasons we wanted to get you on is just because of how much you've supported the page over the last few months. Definitely see your name pop up with your opinions, and I just really appreciate it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I met the people that I went to Leeds with last year through your page. So,
no way.
Yeah, I literally just tweeted and replied to a tweet that you guys put out, like, I'm going to Leeds alone. Anyone got any tips? Mate, or my now mate messaged me going, you're not going alone, give me a message. Got talking a few months before Leeds, went with him and a few of these mates, and yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. That is unreal.
Look at that little love story for the Randall Mill.
Yeah.
That's going to be the clip for all the socials. That.
I'll happily give you that little bit of to start off with.
Yeah, that's exactly what we kind of made this page for, and as well. This episode because we wanted to get you guys on and just to chat about your opinions, and I'm sure you'll have a lot about this year's lineup. So do you want to go ahead with them?
I think it's probably one of the best lineups of recent years, at least for my taste. There's only like one headliner which I'm sat here looking at thinking, why is she headlining? And I think
Yeah, I
everyone,
wonder who
I
that
think
is.
everyone's in the same boat of it being Megan Thee Stallion. And it's not that I saw her at Park Life last year because she sub-headlined under Dave there, which she's kind of doing again now at Leeds. And she was a really good show, but I don't see her as a headliner yet. Like, to me, if they wanted a female rap headliner, someone like Doja Cat, Cardi, were more better options. So I'm probably not going to see her. She's doing Part Life again this year. I'll see her there, and then that's my fix for Megan for the year.
Yeah, I wonder whether because there was names that were being thrown around like Doja and even like Dua Lipa. I know they probably wanted rap specifically, but I suppose it was a case of Megan is who they could have got, and that was it.
Yeah, well, I wonder if they asked Cardi B or Doja Cat, and it just turns out that none of them would do it, or they tried to get Megan in a lower slot, and Megan just turned around and was like, I want to be the headliner, because she's not headlining Park Life, and that's a smaller festival. But she's headlining Leeds in Reading, which it's a bit of a weird mix, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they got her for a sub headliner, that would have been good booking.
yeah, I gotta say they
Yeah.
put her underneath Dave and maybe moved. I don't know who they could have put in that slot that's currently being announced, unless they just had someone else that's not even on the lineup completely in that slot.
Yeah. So who, talking about who's not on the lineup, who would you like to see added to the lineup in the next announcement? I'm sure we'll be getting it in the next month or two. Who do you want to see added?
Oh, I'm trying to think of bands that maybe are big enough to still cause a bit of an impact on the lineup, but not like sort of be headliners. Boston Manor. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. Small, yeah. I'd like to see them. I know that they're kind of everywhere, doing gigs in festivals. They're one of my favourite bands. They was in one of the tents this year. I didn't get to see them. I'd like to see them maybe open the main stage, give them just that nice early slot. That'd be good. Someone like Burna Boy. I feel like he'd like before Dave, before Polo G, middle of summer vibes. That'd be a really good. Really good
it'd be nice.
energy. I don't know. It's hard to think without seeing like the rest of like what Glastonbury's lineup could be, because there's a lot of people saying like Olivia Rodrigo, but I'm not too 100% if that's the right vibe for her.
It's a difficult one because I think it's a name that was like mainstream, and I would have compared it to the booking like when they got Billie Eilish and when they got Post Malone back in 2018, and even the Kid Laroi this year, but. It is quite pop, and it's more on like the Mabel front as opposed to that sort of American really popular act. And I would put someone like Doja Cat in that slot rather than Olivia Rodrigo. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, maybe if they do put Doja Cat on the lineup, then it's hard to think where she'd go.
I think she's a headliner. She's not going to get added. I don't think she's going to accept. She won't accept anything other than a headline.
Yeah, I guess she's probably bigger than Megan. Like if you look at the numbers, she's way bigger than Megan. So I guess again, it's the fact she's not on there.
She's headlining festivals all over the world as well, Doja.
Well, she's doing the Lollapalooza rounds.
Like quite a lot smaller.
Yeah, she's doing the Lollapalooza rounds headlining this year.
She's going on tour with The Weeknd.
Imagine Doja Cat on the weekend. Jesus.
There's rumours there's rumours that's why that she's not doing any festivals, because she's already booked for that tour.
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
Which is why she's not really turning up.
Makes sense.
Yeah, who else could we see added to the lineup? People are saying the Strokes, but I don't know, because they technically could, but I don't know if they would, because they're a headlining band.
Yeah, that's another one that I think definitely, especially with the 6 headliners, I think they're headline worthy.
That's the thing you got to remember. It's all in perspective because of the 6 headliners. Like, it's not as high caliber as when they just had the 3, or when they had the 4 with the co-headliner. So they need to bring down the budget slightly, and that's probably just what they've done with Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I think she's going to get an audience, and I think she's for certain people, and a lot of people are quick to criticise, but she'll get a big crowd, and she'll be, I'm sure, enjoyable.
Yeah, I gotta say, she does put on quite a good show. I'm not going to say that she's a bad artist to have. It's just not a headline, in my opinion. But again, she is a solid live performer. She is great. Like, I understand why she's there, but
who's your favourite headliner that you've ever seen at Leeds?
I won't be honest. I've only been to Leeds once, which was last year, because sort of up to the years before that, I didn't really have anyone to go with. And then obviously COVID happened. I was like, you know what, I'm going alone. But then probably Stormzy, because
it was great.
I only saw the West stage headliners this year. I didn't go to the East stage. I didn't see Biffy, didn't see Catfish, and I didn't see Disclosure. So it was probably Stormzy out of all of them, just because he's one of my favourite acts right now, one of my favourite rappers, and just being able to see him live, it was just a great experience, and he put on a really good show.
Oh, ridiculous show, wasn't it? I think a lot of people were surprised how good that was. I always knew it was going to be good after watching his like Glastonbury set and stuff, and he was definitely up there with the one I wanted most, and he was.
Yeah, he was. I was on like the middle barrier. I was like, I don't want to be right at the front. I don't want to be in the middle of the crowd somewhere. So I was on like the middle barrier. Had a nice good view of it. Just got to sit and watch it and enjoy it, and it was just like I shed a tear at one point just because it was like an emotional moment for me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. For sure. It really was. My mate had the same thing when he saw Post Malone in 2018. I think I Fall Apart got to him a bit too much, but it's mad how much emotions and stuff that festivals can bring, because it is crazy sometimes when you just sat there and you think about that you're in this massive crowd seeing this act. It's crazy, isn't it?
Everlong Foo Fighters for me 2019. That was my moment. The end of the set. It was the end of my A levels.
I've been watching the Foo Fighters Reading set on YouTube over the past few days or so, and it's like I need to find a way to see them, because they're on tour in the UK next year, and like I keep trying to get tickets.
You're gonna have to get yourself to see it there. Yeah.
But like it's so difficult to get a hold of. Like every time I see one pop up for sale, it just goes like that.
Yeah. They're an incredible live band.
What about sort of, have you got any other previous sort of festival experiences or gigs and stuff that you've really, really loved, and perhaps you'd like to see at Reading one day?
It's a bit weird, because for age I didn't really go to gigs in festivals. I didn't have anyone to go to, and then the only one that I'd been to before that was the Blackpool Illumination Switch On. It's like 20,000 people. They just have a few DJs and small acts on a festival-sized stage. I'm trying to think who was there this year that I would like to see return. AJ Tracy, I'd like to see him return. He was just really good. KSI maybe, just throw him in there for the bands. He's quite good.
I think AJ Tracy would be one of the acts that probably return in a year or two, maybe getting into that headline slot. He's just been announced as the headliner for NAS as well, so he's getting into that territory of headliner, and I think we were quite lucky to get him in that headliner slot.
Ewan and Ben is apparently quite high on him. Obviously, the director of Festival Public, he's quite high on AJ Tracy. But I think he might be on tour around that time in the States. I'm not 100% certain on that.
I really appreciate you coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, and thank you again for supporting the page, and we're glad that we could bring you to meet up with a couple of people from the page.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I just really appreciate you coming on and having a chat with us.
Yeah, have a good night. Look.
And that was it. So we managed to talk to all sorts of people, and it's amazing to see the variety of what music they like and who they want to see added and what they think of this year's lineup. I think that went really well, don't you?
I absolutely love that. The fact that we're able to get 7 people that follow the account and are part of a community is what, like, the story of Sam being able to go and meet people and go to Leeds because of the page is incredible, and that's that's what we're all about, and that's why Adam started this and why I've jumped on and we're building it to what it is at the minute. And hopefully even further to help even more people and just kind of create a community around what naturally being a big festival like Reading and Leeds for mainly for the Randall Mill is the sense of community isn't really there, and that's why we starting to do that with the Randall Mill, and then obviously branching off with this podcast, be able to talk about all things festivals. Just live music is what we're all about, and you know what, I'm loving the opportunity to be able to speak to people about it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you missed out this time, or if you did apply and didn't get on, and we're really sorry because we got way more than we even thought we'd get. We're definitely going to be doing this more often, so make sure you do apply and keep following up and put your notification on for our socials, because you don't know how soon we're going to do this. We might do one for the next Reading and lineup that could be next week, so definitely look out for it. And I just want to say thank you very much for listening. I hope you guys did enjoy. It's been a pleasure as always, Reuben, and I hope you enjoyed this one. By the sounds of it, you did.
Absolutely loved it. Cheers.
Lovely. No worries at all. Right, I'll see you later, and we shall see you in the next episode.
Cheers, guys.